What's going on, guys? It's Jay from Dirty Boy Tools. I'm here with my Lobster UWP200DNA pliers made in Japan. I just purchased these. They are the 200mm versions. Very excited to use these, and I want to give you guys 7 reasons to consider adding these pliers into your toolbox or your tool kit. So reason number 1 is going to be the actual back of the pliers. And one of the reasons that I got it, it comes with a pry bar / flathead screwdriver feature, and I may be able to replace my actual toolkit pry bar with these since I don't do serious prying with them, but I will wait and see. Either way, excited to try those out. Reason number 2 is the screw removal option. So if you look at the jaw from this angle, you'll see the cuts made and the tips, and that is to grab screws from the head if they're stripped out and twist them and get them out that way. You can also use these to grab stems. You can also use them to grab pins, small rods, things of that nature. I find that screw removal pliers tend to be very helpful and useful in my day-to-day work life and in day-to-day regular life as well. Reason number 3 is not a reason that I would use these pliers for, but it comes with a lanyard hole. So if you need to tie this down to a workstation, if you need to prevent it from getting lost or stolen, you have an option right there that'll help you with that. Reason number 4 is the jaw shape. So many of you have probably seen this jaw shape before on different pliers. Let me use the gold standard of pliers, Knipex. Little diamond shape, and that's to, of course, wrap around the head of a bolt or a nut, and to also be able to grab onto pipes and such with ease without doing damage. This is a bit more modified than your conventional jaws. So I'm bringing it up close. There we go. See a little bit of curvature there, and then 1, 2, these 2 points right there, they are a little bit more rounded, and the circle, the radius of the circles on those corners is larger than usual. Why is that? It's a good reason, actually. When I put a bolt or a nut in there, you see that gap? You can see a little bit of blue. And then over on this corner, well, it's not even touching it. That allows the bolt or nut to preserve its corners and to prevent rounding. People that use adjustable wrenches or regular pliers on bolts, over time you'll notice that the bolts get rounded out, and we want to prevent that, because then one day it just won't come out properly because we won't be able to grab it properly. Pliers like this and the designs here are meant to preserve that shape and that design. And you can see here, if this was a flat shape instead of a curved shape, the whole flat edge would be grabbed and the corners would be nicked a little bit. They would be compromised with that grab. This type of jaw shape prevents that from happening, and in theory it should allow you to round your bolts and nuts out a lot less. But definitely want to test that out. I am confident it'll work. Reason number 5 is the cutters. So over here, it has cutters here, and these are not main cutters, these are backup cutters. If you go to the website, it will say to only use these on larger gauges of wire, not thin wires. And it'll also recommend using a main pair of cutters. But if you don't have any on hand, these can come in handy. However, I have tried it on thinner gauges of wire with not much luck, as they said on their website. If you use it for thicker pieces, it'll probably work better, because that is exactly how this is recommended to be used. Number 6 is the jaw tip. So if I open these up, a little hard to see. Let me pull it up here. You'll see the curve here and here, and they hug and they fit each other well. It's a little hard to see on this size pliers, but I have another pair from Lobster where it's a little bit more pronounced. You can see the curvature there and in there. It's almost like a hand-in-hand type thing, and it'll help grab onto things like thumb screws or bolt heads. Let's say you have a hex bolt and the bolt head isn't recessed. You can use this to grab onto the head and twist it out, and you'll be gentle enough to not do damage on it. If you use a regular pair of pliers with two flat edges grabbing against the head, you're going to probably grind on it. You're not going to have the right leverage. Something like this, it'll sit in the middle that way, and then it'll grab it right there at a nice strong point, and when you twist and rotate, it should do minimal damage. I've used these on thumb screws just recently, and no damage was done to the thumb screw. I was able to break it out of the seal because it was stuck in there for years. So twisted it out, and once I twisted it out, I threaded it out with my hands, and no problems after that. Reason number 7. So this reason is personal preference. I know it's not going to apply to a lot of people, but it may apply to some of you. So you have different types of pliers. You have button mechanisms, and then you have slip joints. Now I have a lot of button pliers, and they work pretty well. And I have button Knipex Cobras in larger sizes. I love them. But slip joint pliers, it's easier to memorize. Hey, I got to go to level 2. I got to go to level 3, level 4. If you work with these every day and you see the different sizes and you kind of memorize them because out of repetition you get comfortable, having slip joints can be beneficial to you. But if you don't work with them every day, and I probably won't every day, then a button mechanism will be useful to you. That being said, I think I do prefer slip joints because that's what I've just used for a very long time. I do love the button mechanism, but it's a lot of options, and just in my opinion, a lot of options aren't always a good thing. Sometimes it's good to know, okay, I have this size bolt, I go here and be done with it. And then also, one thing I have heard from some plumbers who have commented on videos all over YouTube is that they prefer slip joints because they have better one-handed control in opening and closing. You can probably develop some one-handed control with the button mechanism pliers, but I'm going to take their word for it. You know, there's guys that have been doing this for 20, 30 years saying they prefer this, so there's got to be some type of credibility to what they're saying, right? So there you guys have it. Those are my 7 reasons as to why you should buy these. Something to note as well, the Happy Little Tools channel on YouTube also bought a pair of these in 175 millimeters, a little bit smaller size. I believe when it comes in, he's going to be doing a review on it, so I'm tagging their channel on it. Definitely check them out when they do the review. Be good to hear his perspective as well. I think he's got a great perspective and a great opinion on the tools, and I can't wait to hear what he thinks when he gets his in here. So definitely check him out, and if you guys have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys about these pliers.